So welcome to Gradeup and welcome to this next session which I'm taking on Unconventional CAT DI. So what exactly I'm going to do in all these sessions, let me just tell you first about that. So when we talk about data interpretation in these exams like CAT and all, so the first thing in our mind is that DI is all about pie charts, bar graphs, line graphs and all. But actually CAT is going away from that now. In the last few years, the kind of graphs that we have seen, they have actually been very different from these general graph. So what I'm trying to do in these sessions, हम लोग कोशिश ये कर रहे हैं कि whatever different type of graphs that have appeared in CAT, so let us just discuss them once, so that because obviously how many different type of graphs can you make? So a triangular graph or a hexagonal graph has appeared in CAT many times. So once you obviously do that, so any question based upon any kind of that graph would be easy for you. And not only from the perspective of CAT, these would be useful for you from the perspective of other exams as well. But today in these sessions, we are going to talk about CAT only. So I have taken all these sets which are taken from actual CAT papers itself. Okay, the kind of sets that have appeared in CAT, and these are all different kind of sets that we are discussing. So one again I'll be discussing today here. Hi, good evening Pradeep, and good evening to everyone else, and I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. If I'm clearly audible and visible, I'll move forward, right? So hope everything is fine, no problems at any point, everything is okay. सब कुछ आप सुन पा रहे हैं, देख पा रहे हैं अच्छे से. And then we'll start with our today's session. Please just confirm once. Pradeep, you may confirm that is everything okay? Am I clearly visible and audible to you? No doubts here? No problems? Okay, Shantanu says yes, everything is okay. So let's move forward then. आगे बढ़ते हैं इससे. So here is the first thing, that we all are taking these sessions one by one, right, of DI sessions. So these, as I said, that primarily I'm taking from CAT's perspective, but can be useful for other exams as well. Okay, so please, if you like these sessions, guys, please press the like button. Please comment on it. Whatever doubts you have later on also, you can always put that, and please share it with the people whoever is appearing for these exams. And once you subscribe to Gradeup channel, obviously you will be getting all these kind of notifications that what all sessions are we doing. So hi Manisha Maurya, good evening. So one of such news is that we are doing the testnet exam analysis on the exam day itself, that is 20th of February, and just after the exam at 5 PM we'll be having the complete analysis of it, and we'll be discussing some memory based questions as well at 8 PM that very day, right? ये सब हम लोग उसी दिन करने वाले हैं. So again, if you subscribe to these channels, obviously you will keep on getting such notifications on your mobile. Okay. Hi, good evening Rinki. Thank you Pradeep. So I think we are good to go. We can start with it. So here is the first set that I'm going to discuss. Just have a look at this, and after that we'll start discussing it together. ठीक है, एक बार बस देख लीजिए, फिर हम लोग इसको करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे. So this might be a different kind of set that is again different from those line graphs, bar graphs and pie charts and all tables. So such kind of sets have appeared in CAT. I have taken 3 sets today. I'll try to cover all 3 in this session itself. So let's start discussing this first one. Each point in the graph below shows the profit and turnover data for a company. Each company belongs to one of the 3 industries: textile, cement and steel. So if you look at this graph, you will see that the x-axis is representing the turnover, the y-axis is representing the profit, and these are actually the companies. So the triangles are represented by the textile company, circle is cement company, and the square is steel company, right? So there is nothing much in this data. I can see this, I can figure out, okay, what is happening. Now there are 2 ways. One way is that just after looking at this, I can make a table. ठीक है, यहाँ पे एक टेबल बना लेता हूँ. टेबल में यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ that this is textile, this is cement, this is steel. What is their turnover, what is their profit? But there are multiple number of companies, so writing that would be different, that which company I am talking about. So I can do one thing, ठीक है, this is first company of steel, second of steel, third of steel, fourth of steel, fifth of steel, and then I write here कि first के बारे में क्या है, second, third, fourth, fifth, what is their turnover, profit. This can be done. though I'm not saying this should be done, but this can be done. It is not needed. So basically what is to be done, that will be decided by the question. So what kind of questions are they asking you? It would depend upon that. So currently I have understood the data. What is the data all about? If that table is needed, we'll make it. If that is not needed, we'll not make it. So let's move forward to the first question. So all of you please try this question once, and after that I'll tell you what is the right way of solving such questions. So all of you please do this. I'm giving you a minute to do it. एक बार करने की कोशिश कीजिए, and after that we'll do it together. On YouTube as well, I hope people are able to see me properly. Manisha Maurya, you can confirm that. So Nitin has even given the answer as 7. Great Nitin, that's very good. Anjana Vinod also says B, that is 7. Manisha says yes, okay, that's absolutely okay. Thank you Sarbani, everything is okay. Divya has also got 7 as the answer. Great guys. So for how many companies does the profit exceed 10% of the turnover? So for example, let us check them one by one. Himanshi is also saying 7. Rupa is also saying 7. So for how many of them profit exceeds 10% of the turnover? So one thing is that, okay, a company has a turnover of 1000. So 10% of 1000 is 100. So their profit should be 100. So that company should lie somewhere here, right? A company which is having a turnover of 2000, 10% of 2000 is 200. Similarly, 10% of 3000 is 300. Similarly, 10% of 4000 is 400. So can I say these points are representing the 10% of the turnover? And 10% of 1500 would be 150, 10% of 2500 would be this, 10% of 3500 would be 350, something like this. So can't I do one thing, that I just add all these and make a single line? So straight away I can say anything above the line is more than 10%. Anything below the line is less than 10%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 companies above this. So therefore my answer should be equal to 7. B would be the correct answer for us in this question. I hope you understand this. Rather than calculating for each one of them one by one, that becomes a bit confusing. So this is a very good way of doing this question, that just draw a line of 10%. Above this line we have everything above 10%. Below this line we have everything below 10%. And that makes the question such an easy question, right? Just the way of doing the question can make your questions extremely easy. Otherwise, if I'm checking them one by one, okay, this is less than 1000, 10% would also be less than 100. So definitely this is one of the companies. ऐसे ये check करा. But in such companies, I might have a bit problem in calculating. अच्छा, इसके केस में क्या होगा? 2100. Though after some time it automatically comes to our mind कि ठीक है, for 2000 I am looking for countries above 200. For 3000 I am looking for companies above 300. That way I am looking at. And the figures are given in a way that we can easily figure them out. But yes, making a line like this definitely makes our job easy. I hope so. Hi, good evening Akshit. Okay, let's very quickly move on to question number 2. How answer this question, guys? All of you. I want an answer from all of you. First, Nitin gave the first answer. On YouTube, Anjana gave the first answer. I want to see who answers first for this question now. And how fast you answer, what is your way of answering, we'll see that. For this second question, what is your answer? For how many steel companies with a turnover of more than 2000 is the profit less than 300? Divya gives the first answer as 2. Ved Prakash says 2. Then Nitin also says 2. Very good, Divya, Ved Prakash, Nitin. Sarbani says 7. Ramya says 2. Abhinandan says 1. Pritha says 1. Sorry, Pritha says 2. I'm sorry, Pritha. So we have got answers like 2, 7 and 1 till now. No other answers? Rupa also says 2. Megha also says 2. Pradeep says 7. Akshit Trivedi is saying C, that is 2. Vikrant says 2. Anjana Vinod 2. Good evening, Shire. Hi, Aishwarya says 2. Very good, guys. So most of you are saying 2. Some of you are saying 7 as well. Some of you are saying 1 as well. Let us see what should be the answer. Sweta says 1, Sayyid says 2, Surya says 2, Manisha says 1, Neha says 2. Okay, let us check then. What is the answer? How many steel companies? So first of all, he says how many steel companies. Steel companies are with the box. So I am talking about these companies currently, which are with the box. Have a turnover of more than 2000. Turnover is here, more than 2000. That means above this. So these two are ruled out. Is the profit less than 300? Profit should be less than 300, matlab below 300. This is ruled out. These are the only two companies. So therefore my answer would be option C. And yes, I saw that Divya gave the first answer. On the other side, who gave the first answer? I think who gave the first answer? Akshit, hai na? If I'm not wrong. Anjana Vinod says B. Yes, Anjana ni Akshit ka answer pehle aaya tha C. Then Anjana and then all. So most of you had answered 2, but did you actually use this approach only? Again, this question was actually of this approach. इसमें तो और कुछ था ही नहीं. We had to do it by this method. That was an easy question. Let's move forward very quickly. Let's do question number 3. Let's see who answers it fastest. Question number 3. See, question easy है या difficult है ये important नहीं है. Always important part is whether you are able to do it before the others or not. So do it fast. Question number 3. All of you, please do it ASAP. Okay, Divya, I get this. What is the answer for this question now? Who answers it first? I am still looking for it. What is the answer to question number 3? An investor wants to buy stock of only steel or cement companies with turnover. Akshit Trivedi says B5. Ved Prakash says B5. Surya says 6. Anjana Vinod says 6. Abhinandan says C. That is 6 again. Sayyid says 6. Divya says 5. Tushar says 6. So somehow we are hanging between 5 and 6 now. Equal number of people are saying 5 and 6. Aishwarya says B. Anjana changed the answer as 5. 5, 6, Vikrant 6, Tushar 6, Divya, Vikrant 5, Neha 5, Megha 5, Himanshi B, that is 5. But yes, most of you are saying either 5 or 6. Vidhi Sahani says 5. Pradeep is saying 4. Nitin says 4. Ramya says 4. Pritha is also saying 5. So somehow we have got the answers as 4 as well as 5 as well as 6. Right? Akshit, Aishwarya, Anjana and Vidhi, they all are saying 5. Similarly on app I say many people are saying 5. Some of you are saying 4 as well. And some of you are saying 6 as well. Let us see what is the answer. Let's do it as fast as possible. Okay. G. Chaitanya is also saying 5. Let's check that. An investor wants to buy stock of only steel or cement companies with a turnover of this and profit exceeding 10%. How many choices are available to the investor? He wants to buy the stock of only steel or cement. Steel or cement का मतलब है I am looking for only squares or circles. I am looking for squares or circles. With a turnover more than 1000 and profit exceeding 10%. Turnover more than 1000 मतलब इससे आगे. Profit more than 10% इसका मतलब इस लाइन से ऊपर. So above this line, circles and squares, which all are there? Circles and squares above this line is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So therefore our answer is option B, that is 5. And many of you again answered it correct. And some people are saying that okay, this session has probably been already taken by Anurag sir, in which he discussed this set. There is a possibility. Actual category exam jitne bhi hote hain, many people would have discussed those. That's a possibility. So he also might have discussed it in some other, because these are the questions which can also be discussed in a topic where you can answer the question just by looking at the graph. So these can be answered in a topic like observation based DI. They can also be answered in something like unconventional DI, right? There can be other ways of representing this as well. Graph based DI, that's also possible. So these are the different kind of questions. So all of you have understood. We have done the first 3 questions. These were the 3 questions, easy questions on this. I am going to be to do some more difficult ones now. Okay? If exam the graph will be provided, we have to make no Barka. This will be provided there. This is an actual exams question where this graph was provided and the questions were asked to you. Let us move on to the next one now. So here is the next data. So please all of you read this, and after that we'll start solving this. All of you please read this fast. Why not other square? Neha, it was saying profit should have been more than 10% of revenue. Profit should be more than 10% of revenue. Therefore, we looked for all the things which are above the line. Right? इसलिए हम लोगों ने नीचे वाले squares नहीं लिए. And Akshit, was this set also discussed that day? February 16th was yesterday only. So that means it will be fresh in your mind. Completely fresh, huh? Yes, very quickly let us do this as well. I hope all of you have read this. So Akshit says no, this is a new question. Great. That will be good for us. I hope all of you have read this. The data points in the figure below represent monthly income and expenditure data of individual members of following families. So the families have been represented, changed by the members, and income has been changed, turnover has been changed by income, and यहाँ पे क्या था उसमें profit that has been changed by expenditure. Okay? And then the questions would be asked to you. Now on the basis of this, again I'll start showing you questions. Let us see who answers first for these questions as well. If the data is clear to all of you, I'll start asking questions. And he has already made this line. पिछले question में तो we made that line. अब की बार तो उसने बना के दे दी. This line is indicating income is equal to expenditure. Generally they won't give you that. ठीक है, यहाँ पे they have already given us to us. Actual CAT question in which they had given this line, they had given this graph, everything was just like this. I have not made any changes into this. So here is the first question. I am looking for the first right answer for this question. Which family has the lowest average income? Who answers it fastest? Let us see that. Which family has the lowest average income? Who answers it first? Let me see who answers it first. Which family has the lowest average income? Barkha gives the first answer as C, which is Kamaljeet. Okay. Divya also says C. Ramolia also says C. Pranit says C. Neha says C. Romya says D. Surya says C. Okay. Great. Akshit says C. Anjana Vinod is also saying C. Pradeep says C. Himanshi C. Vidhi Sahani C. Aishwarya K C. Choti says C. Sarbani D. Pritha C. Most of you are answering C. Rinki is also saying C. Abid says D. Some of you are answering D. Most of you are answering C. Let's try to answer this question. Lowest average income. If it is talking about the income, income is represented by y-axis. So basically we will just be looking at these figures. How above or how below are these? How to the right are these? That is not my concern now. Because if they are going to the right, that means their expenditure is increasing. But that is not the question. Question is lowest average income. So I am just looking for the heights. So height wise, which family is there whose members are on the lowest part of it on an average? Height wise, if I see these black squares, they are at the top, right? Then if I look at these white squares, they are also quite above. Their average would be quite above. If I talk about this circle and this circle, their average would lie somewhere in between. I'm sorry. Their average would lie somewhere in between here. Height wise देख रहे हैं ना, ये इस height पे है, ये इस height पे है, so the average would be somewhere here. But the three white circles, their average would lie somewhere here, and therefore they are having the lowest possible income, and hence our answer for this question is option C. That is Kamaljeet. Good thing is that all of you answered correct except 2 or 3 people, but most of you are answering correct, which is the great part. And I see that on YouTube everyone is answering correct. On app as well. Only except 3 or 4 people, everyone has answered correct. I hope all of you got this. that actually this question was just observation based. देखो और आंसर करो. It was not to be मतलब conclude कि ठीक है, this figure is how much, this figure is how much, this figure is how much, I calculate the average. That was not needed, and this is an actual exam question. Trust me. ठीक है. Next question. Let's see who answers fastest now. Here is the next question for you. Which family has the highest average expenditure? I'll still look for the first right answer. Who gives the first right answer? The first right answer would be given by whom? The highest average expenditure. Barkha again says A. I think previous question maybe Barkha, you were the first one, right? Sayyid says A, Rupa says A, Neha says A, Himanshi says D, Komal says A, Surya says D, WM Sahina says A, Pritha A, Rinki A, Sarbani, Ramolia, Romya, Akshit Trivedi A, Vidhi A, Aishwarya says D, Choti D, Pradeep D, Divya D. So many of you are saying D as well, many of you are saying A as well. Even on YouTube I see now Manisha says D, Vidhi A, Akshit A, Anjana also says A, Ved Prakash A, Divya D. Okay, let us check. So almost we are divided between A and D. Muskan Jain, hi, good evening. Muskan Jain also says A. So A or D ke beech mein divided hai, but yes, most of the people are saying A. Some of you are saying D as well. ठीक है? Komal says D. Pritha says C. Oh, Pritha has got a different answers from others. Let us see what is the answer for this question. Highest average expenditure. Highest and expenditure. When I talk about expenditure, I am looking at the x-axis. So now the height is not important. How much to the right these figures are. And because I am looking for the highest, so however right you are, that is better. Jitna right jaoge, utna better. So the average of 3 black boxes would be somewhere around this average. Average means one is here, one is here, one is here. So average wise, they would lie in the middle. I am looking at how much to the right are these. When I look at the 3 white boxes. So here this was the average for 3 white boxes. Again, the average is somewhere around this. These are the 3 white boxes. Middle mein ye aata hai. These are the 3 white circles. The average would be somewhere around this. And these are the 2 black circles. Their average would lie somewhere around this. And highest to the right, basically, expenditure is of this figure. Whose is this? Damanjeet. So according to me, the answer should be Damanjeet. That is option D. Sarbani says D. Shantanu, Swarna. So end में जितने answers आए थे वो सभी correct थे. D should be the correct answer for this question. Again, you will see one question. Just by looking at it, you can answer the questions easily. Only by looking at this. Got the point, all of you? Yes, Barkha. I'll explain once again. So Barkha, what am I saying? Average हमें देखना है average expenditure. Average is sum of the 3 numbers divided by number of people. And expenditure की बात हो रही है, that means we are looking at x-axis. More to the right you are, more is your expenditure. More to the left you are, lesser is your expenditure. This is what we are talking about. So when I talk about Abhijit, that means this black squares. These 3 black squares are basically, ये कहाँ पर है 3 black squares? I see that 3 black squares are here, here and here. Almost equally at equal distances. In तीनों का average निकालोगे, that will be somewhere around this, right? Similarly, if you look at 3 white squares, their average would be somewhere around this. Similarly, when you look at the 3 white circles, their average would be somewhere around this. But there are 2 black circles, their average is in the middle of them. एक यहाँ पर, कहने से average would be somewhere around this. बीच में मतलब कहीं भी height is not the different point. तो 2000 के आसपास उसका average expenditure आएगा. So therefore I can say this is the highest expenditure family, which becomes our answer. Is that clear, Barkha? But the number of circles is less, so won't be less. No, Neha, he is not talking about the total expenditure. अगर total expenditure की बात करता, then the number of circles would matter. When he is talking about the average, then the number of circles won't matter. They can be even 20. Still they can have lower expenditure. About average we are talking. That's the point. Yes, Sarban is correct. We should read the questions carefully. That is very important. People on app is more than YouTube watching this session live. Yes, Akshit, I think many. 3000 होगा ना सर? कृति जैन सेज, कृति जैन नो, द एवरेज विल बी 2000 नॉट 3000. एक्सपेंडिचर तो 3000 किसी का है ही नहीं कृति. नो वन इज हैविंग एन एक्सपेंडिचर ऑफ 3000 और मोर. ये है 3000, तो ये तो किसी का आ ही नहीं रहा. दैट इज द पॉइंट. चलिए जी, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. अगेन आई विल सी हु आंसर्स फास्टेस्ट. हियर इज द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. लेट मी सी हु आंसर्स फास्टेस्ट टू दिस क्वेश्चन. Time is important. You cannot leave time. Which family has the lowest average savings? Which family has the lowest average savings? Still looking for answers. I have not got any answer yet. Which family has got lowest average savings? Surya says C. First answer is from Surya. Very, very good, Surya. Pranit also says C. Very good, Pranit. Very good. Pritha also says C. Good, Pritha. Very good. Good, Himanshi. Himanshi says C. Akshit Trivedi C. Kriti Jain C. Pradeep says D. Then Divya, Komal, Rinki, Ved Prakash, Sayyed, Sarbani, Neha, Abhinandan, Sahina, Romya, Swarna, Komal, Salih, सबका C आ रहा है. चैतन्य सेज डी, मनीषा सेज डी, विधि, ऐश्वर्या, कृति सभी सी कह रहे हैं. मनीषा और चैतन्य का डी आ रहा है. अंजना विनोद ऑल्सो सेज सी. सो मोस्ट ऑफ यू आर अगेन सेइंग सी एंड सम ऑफ यू आर सेइंग डी. लेट अस फाइंड आउट व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन. लोएस्ट एवरेज सेविंग. This line is given to you which says income is expenditure. That means this line tells you that saving is zero on this line. When income is equal to expenditure, that means the saving is zero, right? Muskan is also saying C. So on this line, the saving becomes zero. That is the point that we have. अगर इस line पे saving zero है, so can I say the people who are below this line, those are those people for whom expenditure is more, income is less. इनकी तो saving negative है. People who are above this line, right? Farther you are from the line, more is your saving. Closer you are to the line, lesser is your saving. If you are below the line, the saving is negative. Am I correct that way? I hope you can understand this. This is showing saving is equal to zero. इससे जितना दूर होंगे, those are the figures for which savings are too high. For example, if I talk about this person, his income is too high, his expenditure is very less, so therefore for this person saving will be very high, right? For this person would again it will be high because he is much above this line. This person is above this line. The person who is on this line is having zero savings. This person close to zero savings. This person is negative savings. क्योंकि इस आदमी के लिए तो expenditure is more than the income, right? I am looking for lowest average saving. Let us talk about Abhijit first. All the members of Abhijit, they are much above the line. Their average would be somewhere around this. If I look at these white squares, all the three people are above the line. Their average would also be quite high. If I talk about these white circles, one is very close to it, but the other two are quite above, right? But when I talk about these black circles, one is on the line which is zero and the other one is very close to this. So therefore this black circle persons are the one for whom the average saving will be the lowest. According to me, the answer would be D, Damanjeet, and yes, that is the correct answer. Damanjeet members are very close to the line of savings is equal to zero. These people, Kamaljeet, हालांकि इसकी saving negative हो गई थी, but the other two people are so much away from the line that the overall average would be having high. Similarly for the other three people as well, वो तो सारे ही ऊपर है, उनके लिए तो वैसे ही high है. So there was I would say confusion can be there between Kamaljeet and Damanjeet, but Damanjeet will win because one of them is zero, other one is almost zero. Whereas when I talk about these, this is much above the line, this is much above the line and this is slightly below. ये जो इसका difference है, ये तो यहां से भी cover हो जाएगा, but ये अकेला ही it is too much high. So therefore the saving will become high. We are looking for the, oh sorry, वो question ये था, lowest average savings. Got it? ठीक है जी? So very quickly we'll move on to the next question now, which is the last question on this set. तो इस पे आ जाते हैं. आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन. लेट अस सी हु आंसर्स फास्टेस्ट. ये तो बाय चांस हमने अभी भी कर भी लिया है. Let's see who was paying attention to this. We just did this question. Who will answer it fastest? So I'm still looking for the answer. We just did this question. Swarna says A. Very good, Swarna. Rupa says A. Barkha says A. Very good, very good. A. Everyone says A. Yes, absolutely, Akshat. You are absolutely correct. So now everyone is saying A, and that is absolutely correct answer. Good, Akshat, Manisha, Anjana, Vinod, Ramolia, Pritha, Sarbani, Salish, everyone. Yes, guys. So we just talked about this. The person who is farthest from this line, is this person whose name is Abhijit. He must be the guy with the maximum possible savings. So our answer for this question is this. Right? Now just think of this. This is a set from actual cat. What if it is there in your exam? ठीक है, मजा आ जाए. लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है. When it is there in the exam, then we start thinking in different dimensions. We don't do it by these methods. अच्छा लाइन से दूर है तो no. We want to be doubly sure. We will calculate this. We'll subtract. We'll find out the savings. Now I am sure he is the person with the highest savings. Because we never have that confidence in ourselves कि नहीं whatever I am thinking is correct. जितना दूर होगा उतनी अच्छी savings है. यहाँ तो सर कह रहे हैं तो इसलिए ठीक है, मान लेते हैं इस आदमी को थोड़ा सा पता होगा. Generally we are not confident about it, right? Therefore these questions become difficult. Otherwise this is such an easy set. But if you see that in that year when it appeared in CAT, not many people would have solved this set. हो सकता है बहुतों ने बहुत टाइम लिया हो या छोड़ भी दिया हो. That is a possibility. Many a time people just leave this set by looking at the graph. And that is the main purpose of doing these sessions. They look at the graph. No, this is not that graph that I have ever seen. So let's leave it. नई चीज है, कौन समझे, क्या पता होगा नहीं होगा, so let us leave it. This is generally people do. So you have to keep this in mind that these kind of actually graphs, they are easier than those graphs, the conventional ones, क्योंकि वो तो आपने बहुत किए हैं. So exam would never give you an easy type of those कि ये बहुत किए हुए थोड़ा सा difficult लो इसमें तो. This is something new. So therefore they would always give you, तो जब भी कोई नया असाइनमेंट होगा थोड़ा आसान ही देंगे ना हमेशा. ठीक है, कट ही गया होट मेरा तो. चलिए जी आगे बढ़ते हैं. ठीक, अगले पे आता हूं. सो नाउ द नेक्स्ट सेट वुड बी स्लाइटली मोर डिफिकल्ट. दिस इज द सेट. ठीक है, बट हाँ पिक्चर वगैरह बहुत क्लियर होगी, बहुत आसानी से दिखाई देगा आपको. बट दिस इज स्लाइटली लेंदी, थोड़ा सा लेंदी है. So read this data. What are we going to do? Actually there are 3 questions on this question as well, and the questions are also a bit lengthy, but I would want all of you to read this thoroughly. We will not do all 3 questions. Lengthy questions है. We'll do just one and I'll give you 2 as a home assignment, or we'll do 2, एक home assignment दे दूंगा. देखते हैं मतलब कैसा माहौल रहता है उसके हिसाब से. Just read this once. After that I'll start talking about it. Have you all read it? Should I move to the questions? I understand it is slightly more difficult to understand, especially these equations, the definitions. So therefore I would want you to read them twice, write them somewhere. Yes, Swarna, you will get extra paper to do the rough work, and you can take as many sheets as you want. Initially they will give you only 2 or 3, but later on you can always ask for extra sheets. They will keep on giving it to you. Okay guys, so let's just read it together now. Let's try to understand what does the question say. क्या कह रहा है वो? Telecom operators get revenue from transfer of data and voice. Average revenue received from transfer of each unit of data. Average revenue received, मतलब this is how I do in the exams. क्योंकि एक बार में तो इसी तरह की चीजें समझ नहीं आती मेरे को. So I do average revenue received from transfer of each unit of data. So I'll always think of this first. What does that mean? How would I calculate that? Average revenue received from transfer of each unit of data. So I'll divide the total revenue received from the data divided by total number of units. Because average की बात हो रही है ना. Average is what? Total revenue divided by total unit of data, right? But that revenue received from transfer of each unit. So revenue received from the transfer of these units, this is called ARDT. In the given diagram, the revenue received from data transfer as a percentage of total revenue and ARDT, they are given to us. To understand this, I'll do one thing. एक बार इसको देखता हूं. This is ARDT in dollars. This is revenue from data transfer as a percentage of total revenue. 10, 20, 30%. These figures went much above. इसलिए उनके लिए फिगर्स उन्होंने लिख दिया, बिकॉज वो स्केल में नहीं आ रही थी, तो इसलिए ऊपर करके लिख दिया. सो इफ आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, फॉर एग्जांपल लेट अस से आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कि ये क्या क्या बता रहा है. This 42% is revenue from data transfer as a percentage of total revenue. So if the total revenue of Indonesia was 100, so data transfer से जो हुआ वो हुआ 42. Is that correct? If their total revenue was 100, so from data transfer they had 42 rupees. Absolutely right. उसके बाद this is their ARDT. ARDT there are $2. ARDT कैसे आता है? This revenue divided by the number of units. This is equal to $2. यही लिखा हुआ है ना? Average revenue per unit. So basically revenue divided by number of units is 2. And from here can I say that 2 अगर मैं यहां ले आऊं तो 42 by 2 will give me the number of units as well. ये भी तो सही बात है. Isn't that right? If 42 by number of units is 2, so 42 by 2 is going to give you the number of units, right? So this divided by this, यही तो हुआ ultimately. 42 divided by 2 is going to give me the number of units if I am assuming the revenue to be 100. अगर मैंने इसको x मान लिया होता, this would have been 0.42x. 0.42 divided by 2, 0.21x would have been the number of units that I can always change according to the question, right? So it is always important in such cases to just understand the data once. किसी एक फिगर के लिए मैं समझ गया हूं. This by this is going to be the number of units is revenue is 100. ये समझ आ गई ना? So for Philippines I can say 54 by 3, 18 is the number of units if revenue is 100. For Japan 70 divided by 13 is the number of units if revenue is 100. So revenue अगर 100 है तो सबके लिए we just have to do this to get the number of units, right? So Akshit के सर 42 कहां से आया? It was given to us in the data, Akshit. We have not written this. ये एक्चुअली दिया हुआ है. उसने ये कहा that this is going above 30%. So वो स्केल बहुत लंबा नहीं बना सकते. So therefore they have just written these values. That for Indonesia it is 42% and $2. So you can see this, the scale is given in dotted format. Dotted का मतलब ये ना and so on. And so on का मतलब बना नहीं पा रहे. We are just telling you these figures. That for Indonesia it is the figure, Philippines ये, Japan वो. इसीलिए देखिए 70, 54, 42 they all are above 30. For all others they have not written because you can find out the others by the scale. For any one of them. Let us say if I talk about India here. So India का ARDT will be given by approximately $1. If this is $5, this must be $1. and if I talk about this figure, this will be somewhere around 9%. So that way I'll get an idea that this is their ARDT and this is their percentage through which they are doing it. Okay, got it? Manisha says image is not clear. Manisha, I think this image is much clearer than the previous two images. हाँ, वो ये है that the font is a bit small, इसलिए आपको सही से नहीं दिख रहा होगा, because it was a big picture, so I could not obviously enlarge it on the screen. That was the problem. So let us do a question on this. All of you please try this question. And if we understand this question well, I'll just do one question. I'll give you two questions as your home assignment. You'll understand it by yourself. Very good, Barkha. Barkha has answered pretty fast. She says 3. Very, very good. If that is the correct answer, that's a brilliant speed, Barkha. Okay, I'll give you the answers as well, though I don't know the answers of those. Let us see, अक्षित अगर यही कर पाए तो सारे कर ही लेंगे ना साथ साथ. So only Barkha has given the answer till now. No one else has given the answer. I'm still waiting for the answers from other guys. Kriti Jain also says 3. Syed also says 3. So पहले जिस स्पीड से आए थे आंसर्स उस स्पीड से नहीं आ रहे. हाँ, Himanshi says 2. Ved Prakash says 3. Pratyusha says 3. Good guys, very good. Vidhi Sahani also says 3. Rinki says 3. Ramolia 3. Akshit says 4 but not sure. Chaliye, let us do this question. Okay. It was found that the volume of data transfer in India is same as that of Singapore. Then which of the following statements is true? इंडिया का वॉल्यूम ऑफ डेटा ट्रांसफर, दैट मीन्स द नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स, एंड ऑफ सिंगापुर, ही सेज दे आर इक्वल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स कैलकुलेट दीज वैल्यूज फॉर देम. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट इंडिया, $1 and 9%. Is that correct? I hope all of you are with me on this, that this figure would be approximately $1 and this percentage will be somewhere around 9%. ठीक है. Let us talk about Singapore now. Singapore के लिए these figures are approximately $9 and can I say 21%? As it is not 20% because it is slightly above that. Always keep this in mind. For these figures it will be taken as 20% for Norway when the midpoint of the figure is on 20. Midpoint of the figure is above, so therefore that would be taken as 21. You can take 20.5, that is completely up to you. ठीक है, इसीलिए उसने अप्रोक्सीमेट ही बोला हुआ, अबाउट बोला हुआ. देखिए सब में अबाउट 2 times, अबाउट 4 times, अबाउट 4 times, अबाउट 4 times, इसीलिए अबाउट वर्ड यूज किया हुआ है. ठीक, वी ऑलवेज लुक एट द मिड पॉइंट ऑफ द फिगर. नाउ वी जस्ट डिस्कस्ड अबाउट दिस, दैट इफ इंडियाज रेवेन्यू इज लेट अस से 100, if India's revenue is let us say 100, I just talked about this, that in that case how would we get the number of units for them? 100 ka 9% and 9 divided by 1. Can I say there would be 9 units in that case? I hope you all remember this. That if this is 100, 100 ka 9%, 9% divided by 1 is going to give you the number of units. We discussed it on the previous slide, right? This time he says volume of data is same for both of them. So ultimately for Singapore also it should come out to be 9 units. For Singapore it should be 9 units. But 9 units कैसे आ रहा है? 21 divided by 9 करके. 21 divided by 9. But 21 divided by 9 तो 9 नहीं आएगा. But 21 by 9 is 9 when I am assuming their revenue as well as 100. But their revenue is not 100. Their revenue is not equal to 100. So I am saying that 21 by 9 ultimately 9 आना चाहिए if it is 100. But if it is 200, it will become 42 by 9. If it is 300, it will become 63 by 9. If it becomes 400, it will become 84 by 9. So can I say at this stage, this will become approximately equal to 9? And this is what we are looking for. So that means their revenue should be very close to 400. Their revenue should be very close to 100. So that means their revenue is very close to 4 times of India's revenue. सिंगापुर का revenue इंडिया के revenue का 4 times होना चाहिए. कहां पर है ये? Total revenue in Singapore is 4 times of what that in India. So the answer for this question is 5. Should I repeat once? क्या कहते हैं? एक बार repeat कर दूं? ठीक है जी, रिपीट कर देता हूं. ऑन द प्रीवियस स्लाइड वी जस्ट सॉ दिस दैट इफ द रेवेन्यू इज 100 देन 9 by 1 गिव्स यू द नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स. सो आई एम अज्यूमिंग द रेवेन्यू टू बी 100. तो 9 by 1 शुड बी इक्वल टू 9 यूनिट्स. बट दिस टाइम द क्वेश्चन सेज देयर टोटल यूनिट्स आर सेम. तो आना वहां भी 9 चाहिए. एंड इफ आई अज्यूम द रेवेन्यू टू बी 100 तो वो 21 by 9 हो जाएगा. बट 21 by 9 डज नॉट गिव अस 9. So if I take as 200, तो 200 का 21% will be 42. 42 by 9 will also not be equal to 9. Similarly 300, 400, I see in approximately 400 it becomes 9. So this is 400, this is 100. That means that figure is approximately 4 times of this figure, which is what the question is asking you. कि Singapore का revenue is about 4 times that of the India's revenue. Right now this is also one of the sets that have been asked in CAT. I am not saying you have to do this set, but yes, at least this question can also be done looking at these figures. The point is, how do you manage these figures? So that first work that we did on the previous slide, कि अच्छा इनको समझ के we got to know what is the number of units, that will work for us. If we don't do that, it will become a difficult set for all of us. Okay. So shall we do one more question on this? There are 3 questions. एक और कर लें ये वाला, right? Just one more question. All of you, please try this. एक और करेंगे, उसके बाद एक question I'll give you as home assignment. Just one single question. So all of you, please try this. Slightly lengthy, but I'm sure now all of you can answer it correctly. No answers yet. Kriti Jain has answered as 5, that is cannot be determined. Okay, Kriti. Vaishnavi has answered 800%, that is option 3. Okay, Vaishnavi. Yes, any more answers? I'm still looking for a few more answers. This is not a difficult question. You all can answer this. 9 and 1. Okay, Vaishnavi, which is exactly 800%. Ramya is saying second, that is 550%. Okay, Ramya, good. Barkha is also saying second option, 550%. Should we do it now? Vidhi Sahani also says second, which is 550%. Soumya Jain is asking CMET की dates आई क्या? नहीं, अभी नहीं आई सौम्या. जिस भी दिन आएंगी we'll be having a session. Rahul says 1. चलिए देखते हैं what is the answer. He says it is expected that by 2010 revenue from data transfer as a percentage of revenue will triple for India, double for Sweden. Assume in 2010 the total revenue in India is twice that of Sweden. So first of all, I got to know that he is talking about India and Sweden, right? Let's calculate these figures for India and Sweden. $1 and 9%, right? For Sweden, where is Sweden? Here, okay? For Sweden it is $6 and 18%, right? $6 and 18%. He says in 2010 these are going to change for India and Sweden. What are they going to be? That revenue from data transfer as a percentage will triple for India and double for Sweden. So triple for India, that means it will become 27%, and double for Sweden, that means it will become 36%. So these percentage are going to be 27% and 36%. What else? Assume that in 2010 the revenue in India is twice that of Sweden. तो यहाँ पे revenue जो है इंडिया का वो Sweden से twice है. Let us say their revenue is 100, so their revenue is 200. Okay? And that the volume of data transfer is same in both the countries. Volume of data transfer दोनों का same रहा है. What is the percentage increase in ARDT in India if there is no change in ARDT in Sweden? ARDT of Sweden is 6. He says it is still 6, right? So if it is 100, we have calculated this. 100 ka 36%, 36 divided by 6. So the volume of data is 6. The number of units, it is 6. And he says that the volume of data transfer is same for both of them. So this should also be 6. And how do we get this 6? 200 ka 27%, which is 54, divided by this figure, the ARDT of India. So can I say ARDT of India should be 9? Because only then 54 by 9 would be equal to 6. So ARDT of India, which was 1, it has become 9. So it has become 9 times, or it has increased by 800%. Vaishnavi got exactly the same answer. 800% and exact figures as 1 and 9, which is absolutely correct. So 800% is our answer. We just went by whatever was written in these statements. ठीक है? पक्का है, lengthy है Barkha. I agree to that. But we don't have any other option because he has given us statements like that. एक एक statement करके हम लोगों को बनाना पड़ा. Right? He just told us revenue from data transfer, triple for India, double for Sweden. We had tripled it, we have doubled it. Then he says assume the total revenue in India is twice of Sweden. तो उसको 100 माना, इसको 200. Rather we have made it easy by taking these numbers 100, 200. Otherwise if you start taking x and 2x and all kind of things, it will be extremely difficult question for you. बहुत lengthy हो जाएगा फिर. ठीक है? So running out of time, very quickly let's do the last question as well. अक्षित कह रहे हैं कर ही लेते हैं, मजा तो आ ही रहा है. तो ठीक है, मुझे भी मजा आ रहा है. Let us do this fast. Let's see who answers it fastest. नहीं, सीमेट में कृति इतना मुश्किल नहीं आएगा. ओके, सूर्या से एक बार दोबारा बता दीजिए. यस, एंड दिव्या भी कह रही है. ठीक है जी. देखिए, दिस वाज 1 and 9%. This was 6 and 18%. This was already given to us. 1, 9 और 6, 18 तो मैं दे ही रखे थे. Now I am saying the question says revenue from data transfer will triple for India. So if this was 9%, I have tripled it. So it has become 27%. And double for Sweden. ये Sweden के लिए double हो रहा है. So therefore if it was 18%, I have doubled it to make it 36%. Also, assume that total revenue in India is twice that of Sweden. India का revenue is twice of Sweden. So I assume the revenue of Sweden to be 100. Of India it would be 200. That is the total revenue. And the volume of data transfer is same, which I used later. कैसे? What is the percentage increase of ARDT if there is no change in ARDT of Sweden? So इसका मतलब Sweden का ARDT which was 6, it is still 6. Now if their revenue is 100, 36% of 100 is 36. 36 by 6 is the number of units. We have already discussed it. कि ये divided by ये number of units देता है. He says the number of units for both of them is same. So if that was 6, for them it should again be 6. So this divided by this, 27% divided by question mark should also be 6. But 27% this time 200 ka, which is 54. And 54 by question mark is 6. So what should be that question mark? It is 9. So ARDT of India becomes 9. ARDT of India was 1. It has become 9 times, or you can say increased by 800%, from which we got the answer. ठीक है जी? I hope it is clear now. अब समझ आ गया होगा. So we'll move on to the last question very fast. Let's see who answers it fastest now. This is the last question and it is the easiest question from this set. All of you can answer this, I'm sure. Barkha says 1. Very fast, Barkha. Good. Pretty fast. Anyone else? No, Pratyusha. It is not of TISNET level. Don't worry about that. Okay, Vaishnavi says D, I think. UK and Spain. Okay, great. Good, Vaishnavi. Sarbani says 5. Very good, Sarbani. Let's see. Any other answer? Kriti Jain says 1. Okay, Kriti Jain, great. Let us do this then. Fast. फटाफट करते हैं. ठीक है? कंट्री ही नहीं मिल रही इतने सारे. That's right. बहुत सारी कंट्रीज है. You're right, अक्षित. D for sure. Oh, Vaishnavi, that's good confidence that I see. Ved Prakash says 5. Sarbani says no, it will be 1. Okay. Romya says 3. चलिए चेक करते हैं. Total revenue received is same for the pair of countries. वगैरह सबके लिए revenue is same. That means 100 अब मान के चल सकते हैं for all of them. Choose the pair that has approximately the same volume of data. And how do we get volume of data? This by this, this by this. And if total is 100, so we just have to calculate this, right? For which two countries it the same? Let's first check about Philippines and Australia. Philippines 54 by 3, 18. And Austria is here. I can straight away say this is not my answer. I'll tell you why. Canada and Poland. So where is Canada? Canada and Poland. Canada यहाँ पर है. Where is Poland? Poland कहाँ पर है? ये यहाँ पर है. This again cannot be the answer. Next, Germany and USA. So Germany and USA. कहाँ है Germany? ये रहा. And where is USA? यहाँ. This also cannot be the answer. UK and Spain. So ये रहा Spain और ये रहा UK. This can be the answer. Denmark and Mexico. Denmark and Mexico. This also can. Obviously this is the answer. I'll tell you the reason why. Just by looking at the graph again you have answered. This is the last thing we are doing today. After that सो जाइएगा जाके. The point is, if one country is here and the other country is here, that means you are going in this direction. So basically can I say the percentage is decreasing, ठीक है, and the ARDT is increasing. On this side you will see ARDT बढ़ रहा है और percentage कम हो रहा है. If 40, जैसे इंडोनेशिया है 42% by 2, if you increase this, sorry, if you decrease this and if you increase this, how can they be equal? This is impossible. I mean, when I talk about Indonesia and which was the country? Philippines and Austria. Philippines is 54% by 3. That will be the volume of units. For Austria, 54 कम हो गया, 3 बढ़ गया. How can it be the same figure? Similarly, when I talk about Mexico and Denmark, so Mexico से Denmark का जो है percentage is decreased, ARDT is increased. How can they be the same figure? They can only be same for these two, UK and Spain, because when I talk about Spain and UK, the percentage increased, ARDT also increased. When you increase both of them, only then they can be equal. You are increasing one, you are decreasing other. How can they be equal? So just by looking at the graphs, I can say fourth option is my answer. Are you getting my point? When a figure goes in this direction, ऐसे चल रहे हैं, that means ARDT increasing. ARDT is your denominator. But numerator is decreasing. Numerator घट रहा है, denominator बढ़ रहा है, तो fraction how can they be equal? They can only be equal when they both increase or when they both decrease. Only in those cases they could have been equal. ठीक है सर बनी, मैं एक एग्जांपल लेके आपको समझाता हूं कि जो मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं. Let us talk about Philippines. Philippines के लिए it would be 54% divided by $3. And when I talk about Austria, the percentage is somewhere around 19%. Divided by ARDT is approximately 7, right? Just think of this. Can they be equal? इसमें तो decrease आ गया और इसमें increase आ गया. How can the fractions be equal? Two fractions can be equal if both of them have their numerators increased and denominators increased, or both of them decreased. ऊपर decrease कर रहे हो, नीचे increase कर रहे हो. How can they be equal? But when I talk about Denmark and UK and Spain, for Spain, the ARDT is 6 or 6.5 or whatever you want to take. 6 ले लेते हैं. And this figure is approximately 15%. When I talk about UK के लिए that figure is around 12.5 तकरीबन इतना. And what is that figure? Somewhere around 30. They can be equal because ये भी increase हो गया, ये भी increase हो गया. How can others be equal? जिसमें एक बढ़ रहा है, एक decrease हो रहा है. They can never be equal. So again, this was a question of, I would say, visual, rather observation. Graph को observe करो, you can answer the question easily. ठीक है? Okay guys, so this was all that I wanted to discuss today. I have taken a lot of time from you, and please keep this in mind. We are doing these sessions twice more, tomorrow and day after, with different sets. Yesterday I discussed triangular and hexagonal graph. Today I discussed these kind of graphs. Tomorrow it is the turn of some other kind of graph. So let's meet tomorrow again at the same time at the same menu. बरखा दोनों डिक्रीज होते तो भी वो बराबर होता. ठीक है? At the same time 9 बजे मिलेंगे हम लोग. And this is about our full course at Gradeup. Now थोड़ा बहुत marketing हो जाए. ठीक है? वो भी सुन लो. Full course that we have started. We have just started batch 6 from today. And currently it is at this price. And all these things that you see on the screen, you'll be getting those once you join a batch. It's a comprehensive course which includes the GD, VAT, PI preparation and your revision workshops, etc. everything. So these are the current prices at which we are having these courses. Okay, this is our wonderful faculty team that you can see. I think one page is missing. This was the page. Okay, this is and this is the page. So these are all the people who will be taking these sessions. So that's all from my side, guys. Thank you very much. Good night, all of you. We'll meet again tomorrow at 9 PM with a new session in which I'll be talking about some different kind of sets, but all from actual CAT. So let's meet there, and please call some of your friends as well, whoever is interested in writing CAT.